It is time to go racing for the second race of the Gatorade Cup Series Season 11. We head to the Rockingham Speedway in North Carolina for the Gander Outdoors 400. Riley Spurge with the 28 on pole for tonight's race. Who's outside second is the 07 of Scott Gregory. Then third we have Levi Schoens, fourth the 24 of Eli Bright, and rounding out the top five it's Michael Gregory in the 33. In sixth place we have Antonin Charles. Seventh it's Jonathan Buford, eighth for Leon Campana, in ninth we have Marshall Burrell, and Freddie Soto rounds out the top 10, the 82. For the rest of the fielders, Roman Fenway, who's outside the 00 of John Smith. Then we have Nathan Green and Evan Hunter in car number 6. With Daytona 500 champion Jonathan Rains, Derek Hamill the 8, who's outside. Then we have Kashawn Richardson and Jay Jefferson the 78 car. With Code Luigi and Sebastian Kukul on the 13. Then there's Anthony Fox inside of him, the 26 of Steve Morgan. Then there's Max Rossi and Brandon Beal. Runner-up at Daytona, Casey Nanico, and the 98 of Tyler Fink. Then we have Bronson Minnick and Diego Yepez, with Griffin Lynn and Zachary DeLell, the 55. Then there's Brett Sierra and Trey Rennie, the 18, with Anthony Hernandez and Jake Galway in car number 11. Then there's Riley Sampson and Jake Richardson, with TJ Hanley and Carter Friesen, Jeff Bright and Luke Rainey. And rounding out the field of the final row, Zachary Fitzgerald Sr. and the 31 of William Bullen. There's our 42 car field for racing at the Rock and Gatorade Cup Series Season 11 competition. Let's go on track and fire these engines up.
Drivers, start your engines!
Ready? 42 engines are rolling off the starting grid at Rockingham to do battle in race number 2, the Gander Outdoors 400. Riley Spurge won your last season in the chase to his latest Gatorade Cup Series winner at the Rockingham Speedway. And this is a track where the inside lane means everything, so if you start back around 33rd, you can be inside the top 20 a few laps in because the inside's so good. 60 laps, a long race at Rockingham, Spurley Tube, Scott Gregory front row, green flag, we're racing at the Rock. Side by side off the fourth corner, first lap leader, close. They were dead even. They give it to the 20th row to lead lap 1 for the pole. But there goes season 9 champion Levi Schoens to the lead. And already 3 wide further back in the pack. So Levi Schoens out front now. Scott Gregory moves through to second right where he starts, bridging back to third. Burrow up to fourth and back by them a log jam of cars, almost 4 wide off the corner. Eli Bright filtered down line to get to the inside the 77 of Jonathan Buford. Trying to move back forward, the 24 started on the outside, found a way down in line, and is moving back forward. There's Scott Gregory with the peak down the backstretch, looking on Levi Schoens. Buford knocks the wall down low with some others, but they stay straight, we stay green. 3 cars break away, Schoens, Scott Gregory, and Riley Spurge. They are 1, 2, 3. Scott Gregory moves back to the front on the 3rd lap. It's our 3rd lap, we've had our 3rd lead change of the race. Here's Eli Bright looking for 5th on Marshall Burrell. Riley Spurge moves to 2nd, get by Levi Schoens. Jay Jefferson's blowing up! In the middle of the field, Jefferson blows up from a top 10 spot. Slows some cars up. Can he make it back around to pit road? We stay green for now. But the 78 slow. He gets to the 11 and Jake Galway gets to the Yepez. I think the 78 had some oil on his tires and slipped up the racetrack there. That's a tough break for Galway and Yepez. They got some damage from that. We stay green for now, but Jay Jefferson's out of it. Heartbreak for the 78 at Rockingham again. Yeah, Jefferson's had so many bad breaks here at this racetrack. Think back to season 4 when he was leading on the last lap. Ended up getting into the wall off turn 2. Christian Merrick went on to win. Spurgeon back to the front after starting on pole. Fell back, but now moves back to the front. 2nd place now to Roman Fenway, the 43. Yeah, that pack has caught this front pack. See Scott Gregory not giving Marshall Burrow much room. The 07 came up the racetrack to get a nice arc into the corner. Burrow's going to fade back now. Scott Gregory to 4th, Eli Bright for 5th on Burrow. Levi Schoens trying to keep 3rd as Roman Fenway in hot pursuit of Riley Spurge in turn 1. Fenway's had a fast race car early on this race. He's looking on Spurge, 28 up the racetrack. There's Fenway with a nice run. A car got the wall to Marshall Burrow. He's going to drop back throughout the top 5. There goes Riley at the racetrack. Roman to the inside. They're coming back to the start-finish line dead even. Roman Fenway leads lap 7. Fenway to the lead in turn 1. Jones coming back in the 14. There is the bout for 4th. Eli Bright inside of Scott Gregory. The 24 moving forward, showing some muscle. That's the same driver that a few seasons ago, when he was in his long winless drought, ended up coming from the back to the front with a fast race car, and then lost his cylinder, which then dropped him back through the field. Eli wants to get some redemption here tonight and win in Rockingham. Spurgeon's not letting Fenway get away, I can tell you that much. The 4-3, I thought he was going to check out in the 28 because he got right back around him. But Spurlitube is not letting that 4-3 get more than a car length away. Here's the bout for 3rd. Eli Bright continuing his slicing and dicing through the field. He'll move by Jones for 3rd. As Scott Gregory looks for 4th, there's the bout for the lead. Spurlitube closing in on Roman Fenway's back bumper. Marshall Rowe back by John Smith for that spot. And there goes Spurley looking low again through 3 and 4, but the 4-3 gets a nice arc to get clear. As we have 10 laps down, 50 to go in Rockingham. Leon Capana, Brandon Beal are inside the top 10, lost Max Rossi. How about Hernandez through the field inside the top dozen? Minnick and Cole Luigi are up here. There's a battle. Brett Sear going up the racetrack as his teammate Steve Morgan moves low. There goes Michael Gregory, starting up inside the top 5, but has faded through the field and is still struggling to 33. He's back outside the top 15. Daytona 500 runner-up Casey Nanico, currently in the top 20. As our Daytona 500 champion, Jonathan Raines, where is he at? 35th and still dropping back. He's going to be outside the top 40. Well, Eli Bright reeling in the front too. He's closed down Spurgeon and Fenway both. Looks like the 4-3 is just a tick better than the 20 at this stage in the race. Just a tick. Maybe a 100th here or there. Not too much more though. But Eli Bright is undoubtedly maybe the best car in the racetrack at this point in time. Closing right to the back of the 28th Spurgeon, who closes in on Fenway a little off turn 2 because he ran a little lower. John Smith to 6th. He gets by Scott Gregory back to 7th. So Smith going to try and move forward. And Spurgeon again tries to close in on Roman Fenway. These 3 running very close together, right in each other's draft, trying to find the best lanes around this racetrack. It's an interesting racetrack where multiple lanes can work. There's Spurgeon inside. He'll keep it down there for now, but the 4-3 trying to fend off on the top side. He's back clear for now into turn 3. He'll dive high. Spurley's going to let off and roll the middle of the corner, get to the inside. He'll get by him in turns 1 and 2 as well. Riley Spurley to our pulsar back out in front of Rockingham. He'll lead the lap. But look at the 24 of Eli Bright charging. On the back of the 28, he'll move to 2nd by Fenway, who now is a mirror full of the 14. Levi Jones coming into the mix. Jones for 3rd. He slid up. That's not what Jones needed to do right there. He slid up way too high, lost all grip, and Fenway's clear for 3rd. But Eli Bright is pressuring Riley Spurgeon. Look at the 28, they'll block in the inside. Doesn't want Eli to make the move. But Eli's going to make it eventually. That 24 stout. Trying to get to the inside down the backstretch. He's down there as a nose. Spurley can't cut that off. Eli Bright to the front now, the Gander Outdoors 400. Spurley now trying to fend off Fenway for 2nd. But Roman to the inside. It's the preferred lane to turn 1. Back behind them, Eli's teammate Anthony Nash trying to join the top 10. He'll get by Griffin Lynn for that spot. So move Hernandez to 10th. Lynn back to 11th. So Hendrick Motorsports has 2 cars inside the top 10 currently. One of them leading. They book in the top 10 right now. Spurley kept 2nd. Fenway keeps 3rd. Jones in 4th. Burrow has closed in 5th because of what they're doing up here, blocking each other and whatnot. So now they're starting to come together, except for racer Eli Bright, who is clear now and in the clean air, starting to pull away. Brandon Beal knocked the wall down of turn 2. He'll drop by the 48 of Anthony Hernandez. The 48 now to 9th, get by car number 9. Hernandez coming through the field. Max Rossi, Michael Gregory coming back forward. Here comes Tyler Finca, Cole Luigi, that is for 14th position. Minnick, there's Fox, Nanico, Nathan Green, Jeff Bright falling back. Carter Friesen trying to come forward. Fitzwater starting on the last row. He's up inside the top 25. Just in front of TJ Hanley. Derek Campbell, Luke Rainey, Zachary DeLello. Here's Kashawn Richardson, Trey Rainey. Brett Sear dropping back. His teammate Ensign Charles Bob moving by. There's his other teammate Evan Hunter. John Weaver started inside the top 10, but has not been a great sequence of events for him. He's dropped back. Yeah, Peasant Gowie got in a dust up with the 78 Jake Jefferson. They're still back here, and William Bullen started last in this race. He's not moving forward at all. He's up to 39th. and Jonathan Reed's all the way down to 41st. That's our Daytona 500 winner. Fenway to second by Riley Spurgeon. The issue for the 78 was the gearbox that's put him out of this race. We have 40 laps to go, about 10 laps until these drivers start to hit pit road. The car who's dropped back, Levi Jones, has abused his tires, it looks like. He has dropped outside the top 7 and is still fading. That 14 car, not at all up to speed towards the middle portion of this run. I would be shocked if he can hold off the 48. Battle for the top 10. Griffin Lynn inside of Brandon Beal. And with them being side by side, here comes the 33 of Michael Gregory. So something to keep in mind. Pit stops, they will happen anywhere from about lap 29 to lap 31. There's going to be a lot to keep in mind once we hit pit road for these drivers. They include, if a driver has right side damage, does the team take time to try and pull the fenders out, beat the sides out, so that that car is better aerodynamically? Do you want to take the time to do that? Do you think it would be worth it? That's something these teams have to be asking themselves. And when do you want to pit? Do you want to come in early, get the tires sooner, but then have them wear out sooner? Do you want to stay out later and have runs later in the run? It's all going to depend on maybe when the race leaders come down pit road. If Eli Bright stays out, Roman Fenway should drive down pit road. If Eli pits, Fenway should stay out and try and get tires later. One car in the drop back, Scott Gregory moved back to 9th as Hernandez moves up to 8th in the 48 car. So Anthony Hernandez up inside the top 8 as Scott Gregory falls back to 9th. Lynn into the wall as Michael Gregory moved to 10th. Brandon Beal's going to get 11th, right back from the 36 car. Something we're not really focusing on, but Fenway has closed down Eli Bright just a touch, just a smidge. 43 right now, just a tick faster. The last lap, 24, was a little bit faster. And with these drivers like Riley Spurgeon, Marshall Burrell, John Smith, who are now 3rd, 4th, and 5th, they are close to the race leader, but they're not terribly close. In my mind, you have to pit sooner if you're these drivers. Back here for 7th, Levi Jones blocking the 48 of Anthony Hernandez down low, making sure that 48 didn't make a dive to the inside turn 3. He did a great job accomplishing that, but here comes Hernandez back on the top side. We'll see if that 48 can try and cross under at any point. He'll try and go around the outside of the 14. He got a little loose. And here comes Scott Gregory inside. With a 48 with a nice run at the top, so he'll get a great run down the backstretch. Off the top of 1 and 2. Hernandez going to try and go low here. See how much these tires are wearing. They're about 2 seconds slower than their fastest laps of the race. Michael Gregory to 9th by Scott Gregory. The battle for 7th still up. As Eli Bright continues to lead, when will our front runners decide to make the left turn to pit road? It's going to be within the next 2 or 3 laps. We have another car blown up. That's Derek Hamill. Another guy who's been snake bitten here in the last lap. Hamill, back in season 6, was leading and got taken out by a lap car, Brandon Tharp. Now, Hamill trying to get down pit road. These guys don't know where to go. They're on the apron. They're slow. Derek Hamill's blowing up, but we stay green for now. Coming on lap 29. This is when these drivers are going to start to hit pit road. Who will be the first? Hamill into pits. We stay under the green flag for now. Jones finally gives up the spot to Hernandez, who lost a ton of time to Michael Gregory. No one decided to come down pit road quite yet. They're all waiting. There's the guys that got held up. So there's Eli's pulled away from Fenway in the 43. Yeah, Fenway dropped a ton in the last lap. Spurgeon's going to try and get around him. When do these drivers make the turn to pit road? Michael Gregory by Anthony Hernandez for 7th. As Tyler Fick and others close in on some other slower cars. 3 right here is Cole Luigi's the first to hit pit road. What a move. That is the move you, as a crew chief, that is the move you have to make right there. Cole Luigi's outside the top 10. Make the first move to pit road. Get the tires sooner. Eli Bright staying on another lap. He'll get to halfway. Spurgeon staying out. Fenway staying out. Spurgeon to 2nd. There goes Capon to pit road. First of our top 10 runners. Schoen, Scott Gregory, Hernandez, Beal, and Rossi all sit in the pits. There's still 3 wide trying to sort that out. Hanley, Friesen, and Kashawn Richardson in a shoving match to turn 1. Eli Bright, does he pit this time? Eli will hit pit road right here. Riley Spurgeon, Roman Fenway follow him in with Marshall Burrell and John Smith. Michael Gregory will hit pit road. So the rest of the field going to come down this time, it looks like. Hanley will stay out an extra lap in the 21 car. He will assume the race lead on lap number 32. Steve Morgan has stayed on the racetrack. They'll be first and second. So this is a gamble for these drivers. If a yellow comes out, they lap everyone. If a yellow, they're going to pit this time, obviously. They're going to lose so much time, but then maybe they can try and gain it back later in the run. So Hanley will hit pit road right here. Him and Steve Morgan, the last of the drivers to come down pit road. Leon Capana, the first driver inside the top 10 to hit pit road. He got tires a full lap sooner than race leader Eli Bright. Where's Eli coming off pit road? There he's right there, just behind lap car of William Bullen. And Eli has no challenge. Fenway beats Spurley off. Look at the tires for Capana, the big move he's going to make. He was not inside the top 5. He's going to be second. Trying to get by his teammate Roman Fenway. How about the jump for Cole Luigi? He was outside the top 10. He's now inside the top 10, bound for a top 5 spot. Capana going to hold off. But Eli Bright is long gone. So Capana leapfrogs to second due to strategy. His teammate Roman Fenway behind him in third. Riley Spurgeon now fourth. Evan Hunter lap down. Levi Jones is fifth, but there goes Cole Luigi inside the 14. Move Cole to the top 5. That is pitting lap sooner. He was the first driver to make a move into pit road. So his tires are going to wear later in this run. We'll see if that plays an impact, but I think it's going to be a net gain for the 42 driver. He was back outside the top 15. He's probably going to finish inside the top 10 if everything goes all right. And Fenway falling back. Riley Spurgeon looking to jump to the inside for third. And he will. Reason for retirement for the 8-car Derek Kimmel. That was a header on the 8-car. 36 cars are currently on the lead lap, last of them being William Bullen in the 31, just over our race leader Eli Bright. And Bullen just ran his fastest lap of the race last lap, so he's trying to get away from that 24. The gap for Eli, 3 seconds over Leon Capana. And it's growing. Jake Galloway slow in the 11. Almost hits race leader Eli Bright. He's slowed down the backstretch, possibly a flat tire or loose wheel. We stand under the green flag for now. He has some damage as well. It looks like he popped the wall or got hit by someone. He'll almost spin it into pit road. Tons of damage to the 11 car. Maybe he knocked the wall down really hard. Trying to see if anyone maybe has any front end damage. Jonathan Rains also slow off the pace. The 96 dropping back. I think he and Jake maybe got into some sort of altercation. How fortunate was Eli Bright. The 11 didn't cut down into him. Look at these guys run the top side. Here's a battle for 6th. Levi Jones, Marshall Burrow, Evan Hunter is a lap car. They have John Smith. Back behind them, Anthony Fox and Scott Gregory battle for 9th and 10th, with Michael Gregory just outside the top 10 in the 11th position. Hernandez drops back to 12th on pit stops. Minnick is 13th. Nanico, our runner-up into the Daytona 500, is 14th. Jeff Bright is now 15th, with Brandon Bill back to 16th. Jonathan Beeford the lap down. 17th is Max Rossi. Green is 18th. Fink 19th. Fitzwater 20th. Levels now 21st. Hanley and Soto are 22nd, 23rd. Remember, Hanley came down the latest of anyone, so he has some fresh rubber. We'll see what he can do with it. Same with Steve Morgan, who's currently up to 25th on the racetrack, making 24th. He just passed Nico Yepez. Trey Rainey is 26th. Richardson 27th. Yeah, we have 2 Richardsons right there. Jake Richardson and Kashan Richardson 27th, 28th. Carter Friesen now 29th. 30th for Brett Sierra. Riley Sampson 31st. Luke Rennie 32nd. Griffin 33rd. Rains 34th. Bullen 35th. There's our racer Eli Bright, about to put those drivers 1 lap behind. He has a 4-second gap over new second place man Riley Spurlitude. And Marshall Burrow moves by Cole Luigi for 4th. Moved the 42 back to 5th. 20 laps remain in the Gander Outdoors 400 at Rockingham. I have to think, unless something happens to that 24, this is his race. Once he got out front, he pretty much dominated, pulled away. Some drivers tried to keep him within reach, but once pit cycle started, no one could make the move to pit road sooner. No one could leapfrog him, and he pulled away on pit stops to an over 4-second advantage over Riley Spurgeon in 2nd place. Coming into pit road, it was about maybe 2 seconds. And now it's 4.5, still extending. It's possible Eli Bright could win this race by over 5 seconds, unless these drivers up here do something to hurt the 24 car. Cole Luigi now dropping back the 4 tires, starting to come into play. John Smith moved to 5th by the 42. Fenway trying to get around. There's John Smith for 4th on Marshall Burrow. John Smith up to 4th. Does Colucci go with them? Can Code go with them? Trying to get down to the inside. The 7th, though, with a nice rotation on top. The 4-2 on worn tires. But Code back up to 5th as Burrow falls all the way back to 6th in one move. There's Eli Bright, still behind Jonathan Rains and William Bullen, who are 2-lap cars in front of him. They are messing around. They are battling for a position. That's 34th and 35th. Those are crucial points for these drivers trying to, especially Jonathan Rains with the win at Daytona. Doesn't want to fall back too far. Eli gonna try and get to the inside. William Bullen here. Try and put that 31 lap down. That's such a hard position for Eli to be in. Because you can't just wait behind them because they're going so slow. They're side by side. You can't just wait. You also don't want to get side by side. You don't want to get in the middle of their battle. He'll lap the 31 of Bullen. Jonathan Rains next up in the 96. 15 to go for the driver of the 24, Eli Bright. Spur 2 gained a 10th, but I mean, that's not enough. That was even with interference from lap cars. Burrow all the way back to 8th as John Smith moves to 3rd. Fox is up inside the top 5 as Coulthard just popped the wall. Fox to 5th. John Smith will move to 3rd by Leon Capana. Remember, Capana came down a lap sooner than our race leaders. And Luigi bounced off that wall. Not good for him. There goes Burrow and Roman Fenway. Here comes the 40th. Anthony Hernandez trying to join the party inside the top 10. He'll move to 10th. He got by Levi Jones and Scott Gregory. 300 cars inside the top 10. Eli Bright's 1st. Fox is 5th. Hernandez is 10th. And could possibly gain spots from the 42, the 33, 43, and 7 in the late stages of the Gander Outdoors 400. Capana might drop back to that battle as well, as John Smith is far and away in 3rd. Eli trying to lap Jonathan Rains now. We're coming around to 12 to go. He's to the inside. Daytona 500 winner Jonathan Rains. Back to the line. 12 to go. It's been dominant for the 24 since he got out front. No one has come in contact with him. He's pulled away from his in dirty air as the 28 has clean air in front of him. I think Fox is going to be bound for 4th here soon. Hernandez to 9th. Cole Luigi on the drop back now with those more tires. He'll fall behind Levi Jones to back to 12th. There's the other 100 car now having a terrible day. I mean, Jeff Bright's that way he wants his teammates to are up inside the top 10, but he's inside the top 15. Not bad for the driver of the 5. Hendrick Motorsports has brought their A game here today with 11 to go. They have 3 cars inside the top 10. All 4 of them are inside the top 15. Here's the battle for 4th. Capana, Fox, and Marshall Burrow. I think Fox is going to have him that 44 now. A lap older tires, it's starting to show right here. 10 to go for Eli Bright. Fox takes 4th with 10 to go. And Burrow going to look to move inside the top 5 with a move to the inside. He has the nose. I think Michael Gregory's got to say Roman Fenway for that spot there as well. Leon Capana, I think, is going to fall back to at least 9th and possibly even 10th as Scott Gregory starting to come forward. Eli Bright continues to extend the lead. That's why we're not showing him currently. He has over a 5-second advantage over the 28 of Riley Spurlitude. This is the real battle. There are about 5-6 cars in this battle for top 10 and top 5 spots. Scott Gregory for 10th pounded the wall as Coulthard got back by Levi Jones for 11th. Jones is still 12th. Minnick is 13th. Jeff Bray is now 14th as lap car Charles Baum moves inside. There's Jonathan Buford now. He's also lap car, so Jeff Bray has no worries really with position loss. The next car is Casey Nacco, who is about half a straightaway behind him. A little bit less, but still far away. Capana almost into the wall. There goes his teammate Roman Fenway. That is for 6th. So Capana dropping back still. So Fenway to 6th. Gregory now 7th. Hernandez 8th. And Hernandez might get Michael Gregory as well. 7 to go. And a battle that maybe we weren't thinking of showing, but it might be a battle at the end. How about John Smith? He's closed down Riley Spurlitude to about a 10th and a quarter. Or a 2nd and a quarter, excuse me. 6 to go for Eli Bright. The gap, about 5.5 seconds. He's far and away the race there unless something happens to the car. Some sort of altercation happens in front of him. He's going to win this race handily. Here's the battle for 6th. Roman Fenway, Michael Gregory, and Anthony Hernandez. The 4th here at the racetrack and into the wall. Michael Gregory tries to jive low. Hernandez over the back of the 33. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th up for grabs. Gregory to 6th. Hernandez to 7th. The 48's been faster than the 33 the last few laps. 5 to go. Yellow flag would end it. Fenway all the way back because of that wall contact to 8th. And now the battle for 6th looms large. And the battle for 2nd. Half a second between the 28 and the 00. 4 to go for Eli Bright this time. These cars just trying to ride out to the end. That's all you can do at this stage in the race. Hernandez trying to get there. This is for 6th. Hendrick right now 1st, 4th, 6th, and Jeff Bright 13th. So how about that? Coming around this time by 3 to go. Eli Bright in thick lap traffic, but as long as he doesn't really try and battle any of these drivers, he'll be all right. You see the cars right here. Jake Galloway's fallen 3 laps down. Looks like Cole Luigi mentioned the strategy he was on of pitting sooner than anyone. He didn't have the fuel to make it. He fell lap down. So if the fuel strategy is all right, the 4-2 would have made it inside the top dozen. 2 to go, Eli Bright leads. The battle for 2nd no longer about John Smith has flown around Riley Sprode to get to 2nd. There's Cole Luigi off pit road, obviously heartbroken. There's the battle for 5th. Gregory inside Marshall Burrell. He'll take it away. So now Gregory to the top 5. Fox into the wall from 4th. That could be a battle here as well. Eli Bright takes the white flag in the 24. Last lap. He'll lap Brett Sierra. Ahead of him also Riley Sampson. It's been a dominant day for the driver of the 24. And history about to be made. Down the backstretch for the final time. Eli Bright will come around. He'll win his 11th Gatorade Cup Series race, which will tie Levi Jones for the most in history. He'll be sole owner of most wins in Joyride League history. Win number 28 for Eli Bright of Rockingham. How about that battle for 4th? Fox keeps it. Gregory, there's the battle for 6th. Hernandez gets by Marshall Burrell. Can Roman Fenway get around him? No! And Campana keeps 10th. A dash to the checkered flag for positions inside the top 10. There was no dash for the win, though. Eli Bright is going to win at Rockingham in Season 11. It's his 28th win overall, his 11th in the Gatorade Cup Series. What a career it's been for Eli Bright. Is this finally the season he can try and get that championship? Let's go see the finishing results after Rockingham. Here are the finishing results from the Gander Outdoors 400 at the Rockingham Speedway. We had no caution flags today, and 8 lead changes. 6 drivers saw the lead here today in Rockingham. Eli Bright is the one who reigns supreme, leading 44 of the 60 laps. Absolute domination for the 24. As everyone kind of battled up front, Eli got in line, came back through the field. Once he got out front, he said goodbye, and no one ever battled him once Eli led. Bright wins the race. John Smith, what a gritty effort at the end to get up to 2nd there. That 00 car was flying that last run. Closed down Eli Bright. If the race was maybe 10 laps longer, John Smith could have maybe had a say. Riley's proved to be a decent day for him. Started on pole, led 5 laps today. He ends up in 3rd. A great recovery after the bad day at Daytona. 4th for Anthony Fox. He knocked the wall down 2 to go, but it didn't matter. He kept 4th there. And Michael Gregory moves up inside the top 5 within the final few laps. Anthony Hernandez gets up to 6th. He started 33rd tonight. 7th for Marshall Burrell. Roman Fenway 8th. Scott Gregory 9th. And Leon Campana rounds out the top 10. Levi Jones gets 11th. How about Steve Morgan? Coming forward on those fresh tires. Remember, he and Hanley pitted a lap later than everyone else. They came forward on the fresh tires later in the run, and it paid off for them. They were outside the top 20. Morgan gets a top dozen finish in 12th, and Hanley gets 14th. Freddie Soto in between them. So that was a good day for them. Tyler Fake 15th, Bronson Mix 16th, 17th Zachary DeLello. How about Jeff Bright down in 18th? He was inside the top 13 when we looked at him with about 3 to go. Falls down to finish 18th. Zachary Fitzwater Sr. gets 19th, and Nathan Green gets a top 20 out of the day. 21st for Casey Nanico, 22nd for Max Rossi, Jake Richardson 23rd, Kashawn Richardson 24th, and Trey Rainey 25th. Carter Friesen gets 26th, Diego Yapez 27th, Luke Rainey 28th, Griffin Lynn 29th, Brandon Beal 30th, William Bolton 31st, Jonathan Raines Daytona 500 winner 32nd, Sebastian Kugelon 33rd, 34th on down finished laps down. Riley Sampson 34th, Brett Sierra 35th, Evan Hunter 36th, Anthony Charbot 37th, Jonathan Buford 38th, all fell lap down due to pit strategy or because of just running slower than the race leader in that last run. For Colucci, he had to pit twice in the race. That was everyone else pitted once. Colucci had to pit twice, put him 2 laps down 39th. Jake Galloway, remember we saw his issues in the 11 car. He fell 3 laps down after that damage. And Derek Hamill and Jay Jefferson both blew up here today. Jefferson really early on, Hamill around the midway point of this 60-lap event. Let's now go see the point standings. Here are the points 2 races in, and already only 2 drivers have finished top 10 in both the races so far this season. They are Leon Campana and Michael Gregory. They are, ironically, first and second in points. Campana has a 5-point advantage over the 33 of Michael Gregory. Riley Sprutu now up to 3rd. Jeff Bright is 4th, and Casey Neckle falls down to 5th. Bronson Mank is now 6th, Levi Schoen 7th, TJ Henley in 8th, 9th Anthony Fox, and Roman Fenway rounds out the top 10. Daytona 500 winner Jonathan Raines down 11th now in points. He has one of the wildcard positions. Nathan Green 12th, Freddie Soto 13th, 14th Tyler Fake, 15th for Eli Bright, 16th Diego Yepez, 17th John Smith, Anthony has 18th, 19th Zachary DeLello, and Jake Galloway rounds out the top 20. So this is a very interesting start to the season because our 2 winners so far this season are not even inside the top 10 in points. 2 races in, both the winners are outside the top 10 in points. They right now have 2 wildcard positions, Jonathan Raines and Eli Bright. Still tons of season left though to determine who gets those positions. Steve Morgan 21st, 22nd Zachary Fitzwater Sr., 23rd Max Rossi, 24th for Marshall Burrow, Luke Rainey is 25th. 26th for Kashawn Richardson, 27th Scott Gregory, Derek Himmel 28th, John Threefer 29th, Anson and Charles Bois in 30th, Trey Rainey 31st, Riley Sampson 32nd, Jake Richardson in 33rd, Jay Jefferson 34th, 35th Brandon Beal, Carter Fries in 36th, Griffin Lynn 37th, Colucci 38th, Evan Hunter 39th, Special Kukulon 40th, Brett Sierra down 41st, and William Bullen down in the 42nd position in points. Those 2 have not had a great start to the season, but still lots of time left for these drivers, all close to each other in points. You can gain about 15 positions just as easy as you can lose about 10 positions. So definitely move through the field very quickly at the beginning of this season. But around race 9 and 10, that's when we'll know maybe who has a shot at the chase in the championship. So race number 3 will start the West Coast Wing. We go to the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the Auto Club 400. I will see you guys then.